wants a piece of cake got a piece of cake? Good, good, good. We can just wait for the founder of the Institute for Manufacturing to grab his slice of cake, not wishing to single him out in any way. Good morning, everybody. I'm very sorry for interrupting your cake eating, but I thought it would be helpful just to say a few words at the start of this academic year. So, quick check, those right at the back, can you hear me okay? Wonderful. So I'm Tim Minshall. I am what is called the head of the Institute for Manufacturing. But for those who know, in academia, there is nobody's in charge, really, but I nominally have that title. So all I want to do is we have a lot of new faces here. And I know on your individual programs, you will have received a welcome and an explanation of what this place is, and that's great. I suspect with so much going on, some of those messages may have just perhaps bounced off. So I'm just going to repeat some of them here and also remind our longer serving students and colleagues what we're all here to do. It's very, very simple. The Institute for Manufacturing has one high level mission, vision, whatever you want to call it, to manufacture a better world. And we do that with three things. We have our education programs with a purpose of developing and educating tomorrow's leaders of manufacturing. We do a bunch of research activities, which is developing new thinking in manufacturing. And we have our knowledge exchange or impact activities, which is about taking all that new knowledge and making it useful for people today. And those people could be in any organization you can imagine in any corner of the planet. So just on the teaching bit, we have our MET 2A students. Could you put your hands up, please, if you're an MET 2A student? Very warm welcome. Thank you for choosing to come here and do MET. So you're being looked after by the teaching office team of Shane and Bet and Hannah. And you've also got your wonderful course director in the form of Alexandra. Then we have MET 2B. Now, this will be interesting. Are there any MET 2B students here? Please raise your hand. Good, because you shouldn't be here, because you're supposed to be doing your projects. So those lot are off doing projects, and again, looked after by Shane and Hannah and Bet, and their course director is Letizia Mortara. So that's that. Then we have our IfM students. Put your hands up, please, if you're IfM. Very warm welcome. I know many of you have come from very far-flung corners of the world. A great welcome to you as well, being looked after by Florian, Vanessa, Hannah, Bet, and a whole bunch of other people. Then, of course, we have our PhD program. If you are a new PhD student, can you put your hand up, please? Yes, yes, yes. So some of them not quite sure if they're a new PhD student. Very warm welcome. So you're being looked after, as well as the rest of the PhD cohort of around 100 students by Frank and Liz. All that going on. Then that's the education bit. We've got our research activities. So there are 23 separate areas of activity and research at the moment, 23 spanning the whole range of technology and management and policy. Extraordinary work is being done then, pushing the boundaries of our research into all aspects of manufacturing, as I say, from the technology stuff happening in the labs, through the management stuff happening in organizations, right up to the policy work as well. And the engine of our research community, of course, is our wonderful postdoctoral community. There's around 60 of you at the moment. And please don't forget that you have your wonderful community that does activities to support all your work, and that your two reps at the moment are Rishi and Valeria. So Rishi and Valeria, if you're here, could you put your hand up clearly, please? There's Valeria. Rishi is off around the world somewhere doing something amazing with logistics, no doubt. So everything you need to know to talk to Valeria. Also, this is the time of year where we're looking for nominations for our postdoctoral awards. So anybody can nominate any postdoctoral researcher who's done outstanding work this year. Please check the Monday mail, the email that you receive, to remind you of such matters. So we've got all that. I could go on and talk more about other aspects of our research activities, but there's a third bit of what we do here, which is our knowledge exchange, our impact work. And this is a huge chunk of it is driven by our embedded company here, IfM Engage. This is an extraordinary organization that back in the day was like 1.5 people running a couple of events for local industry. It is now a business that has a £7 million turnover, employs a core team of around 40 and around 30 consultants all around the world, doing amazing things to make sure that the outputs of our research get into the hands of those who can do amazing things with them. That 7 million is what comes in. What's super impressive is that all of the profit generated by those activities are gifted back to the university, are donated back to get the university to fund more exciting new things. Now, I have to name check one person here, because there's one person who loves meeting people and would like all of you, well, nearly all of you, most of you, anybody who's got an idea for a new thing to improve the way we do our knowledge transfer. The guy who would like to hear from you is there. David Locke, could you please stand up? Yes. that is David Locke, the coolest chief executive in the world. Ask him about his band sometime. So what he loves is people coming up to him saying, I've got a new idea. I've got an idea. Mostly he likes people who do this. I've got a new idea for how we can do something exciting and new about knowledge transfer and making our work more impactful. He likes it even more when they say, not just someone should do this thing, but I think this is a good idea. I'd like to talk to you about it, and I'd like to help make it happen. However, there's a problem. David is a very busy man. So being very smart as well, what he's done is he's created a virtual version of himself and his entire team. And I think next week, it's going to go live. So you can see an avatar version of David and his team doing an absolutely brilliant thing, explaining how IfM Engage works and all the different ways that you can work with them. I think that's absolutely amazing. And I'm not going to say whether the avatar version of David and his team are better looking than the real ones. It's just, they are both. All right, so I can go on about all that stuff, but I just want to focus on a few things just to illustrate some exciting things that are happening. With a community this big, with so much going on, there is absolutely no way I'm going to do the whole, these are all the things that are going on. Just to pick a couple of things, I want to make sure I get these right. So we do a whole lot of work, as you know, students, if you don't know this already, you'll know it soon. But the broad idea is we do work at the kind of ecosystem level, the whole world of manufacturing. We do things at a very high level to make sure that people understand what manufacturing is, why it's important, and how it can be made even more effective. We do a bunch of stuff with the organizational level, and we do a bunch of stuff at the technology level as well. But what's particularly exciting about IfM and everything it does is that it joins these things up. And just a few examples, and just very quickly put these into two buckets. There's kind of new thinking stuff. So there's a whole load of activities at the moment around making sure that those who are in positions of power and influence understand the importance of manufacturing. So one example of that is the great Interact project we've been doing with colleagues from other universities around the UK to understand what is it about manufacturing that makes it so important and interesting, and why aren't more people engaging with it? Why has it become in the UK something that is regarded as not important? All of our experience over the last 5 to 10 years have shown absolutely that manufacturing is hugely important. And if you think about what happened during COVID, we could not have had a clearer example of why manufacturing matters, and we need to be really, really good at it. There's a whole load of issues to do with the way in which we think about the impact of the new ideas in manufacturing. UK is brilliant at science and technology. We are world leading per capita by the effect we have from our science and our technology research. We are less good at putting that into action. And one of the most blindingly obvious things is that the reason we don't do this terribly well is we don't connect all of the science and technology through to the market product because we don't get the importance of manufacturing. That's why this institute exists, is to make sure that those ideas are driven forward into products and services that make the world a better place. And so to build that understanding, we have the annual UK National Innovation Report. You can go online to search for Innovation Report and you'll find something extraordinary there. What else to bring up here that's particularly important? For the UK, this is a very, very critical time for manufacturing. We have a new government, no politics, but hooray! And that new government is pushing forward its to have, for the first time in a while, for the UK to have an industrial strategy. And I'm delighted, I'm proud, I'm excited that we are directly nudging and helping where we can support the process of developing that strategy. So it does the right thing in the right way at the right time. And then just pick out 3 very specific projects that I think are really important. One is, I was just absolutely delighted to see that we were a partner in driving forward the Global Manifesto for Industrial Safety. Some of you at this point might be going, you've got involved in health and safety, that doesn't sound very exciting. Well, here's a number for you, 3 million. 3 million people worldwide die each year as a result of industrial accidents or the result of industrial pollution in the workplace. It is horrific. So we can go manufacture a better world. 3 million people dying. That doesn't sound right. So pushing forward this agenda that manufacturing, that providing an environment that is safe and effective to allow people to work and deliver great products and services is absolutely critical. So Global Manifesto for Industrial Safety, look at it online, delighted we're involved in that. We've then got all of the issues around the other fairly massive problem of industrial sustainability. And I am really pleased, very excited, that one of our research centres is kind of making itself redundant. Which might be news to the head of that centre, but he would admit it himself. We used to say, yes, 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 industrial sustainability is jolly important. And we're going to put it in this box over here, and some very smart people are going to run a centre with the amazingly imaginatively titled Centre for Industrial Sustainability, and they will deal with this. Of course, what's happened is that work has spread across the entire institute, and it is pretty hard now to find a single one of the 23 areas of research we do that does not include some aspect of industrial sustainability. And hooray, that's how it should be, it's how it should have been, and it's how it is now. And the third bit is issues of equality, diversity, and inclusion. Hugely important and very complex topic. So what I'm very pleased about there is I can't talk about all the work that's going on, but pinpointing one example. We are at the forefront of one of the co-organisers of the UK National Women in Manufacturing Initiative. They're dealing with one of the EDI issues related to gender. I would strongly urge you to search for UK Women in Manufacturing, IfM, and there's a great report they've just produced with their partners that talks about these issues here. So that's fantastic. Maybe just a couple of bits then. So if that's kind of new thinking, big thing for IfM always will be and always has been, going back to the original days when we developed workbooks like those produced by Ken Platts and others back in the beginning of IfM. We now have a whole process for what I believe is technically called toolification. So taking ideas and making them into something people can pick up and use. And a couple of examples of that would be, what on earth does that say? Striggle ad bull. Well, I think it means people like Sebastian Pattinson taking AI and using it to improve the control of machines so they become self-controlling. That is amazingly cool. You can read about his work in Nature, and you can see his spin-out company that's taking that work forward. That's quite amazing. Another one is most manufacturing firms in the UK and worldwide are very small. Particular problem in the UK, those small manufacturing firms are not as productive as they could be. One of the reasons they're not as productive as they could be is they don't adopt new technologies to improve things. So again, Duncan McFarlane and his team have done an amazing thing of developing tools, solutions to help small manufacturing firms improve their productivity, and those have been rolled out. And a third and final one I just want to highlight is that of, we've done a lot of work based on, we're engineers, right? We are an engineering environment. We have all disciplines represented here, but fundamentally we're an engineering department. What's very exciting though is seeing that the tools developed to deal with the acceleration of ideas to market when we assume there's a product of some sort there or a service linked to a product, can also be applied to solving really, really messy problems, big, complex system problems, like mental health. So I'm particularly pleased the work of Peter Templeton and others is pushing forward saying these tools have been proven to work, now make these tools available to support addressing of so many appalling mental health challenges that are facing the world today. And this absolutely links logically to manufacture a better world, because you can see how clear it is that we should be doing that. And from a very practical point of view, it means you have a more engaged and healthier workforce. So it makes absolute sense that that work's going on. And then to wrap things up, as we're getting to 11 o'clock and some people need to be back in their lectures, and I need to stop falling over that, health and safety. A very important point I think to end with is, if we're here to manufacture a better world, we could do that in two ways. We could say to each of you, just be brilliant. Just you on your own, do amazing things. Be the best hardworking students, the best hardworkingest researchers, the best hardworkingest academics, the best hardworkingest professional services and technical support staff you can be. That would be great. What would be even better is the approach that we have, which is to say that collectively we can do so much more. And if we're going to do the collective thing, it's down. What I hope you'll agree is a nice physical environment for this to happen, and giving you free cake is not a bad way to start things off, but it is also beholden on you to find out what's going on here. And it's very easy to do that. We have a great website. We have a very active presence on LinkedIn. We're pretty active on Instagram. You can follow us on all these media and you can see what's going on. So please take a few minutes once in a while outside your own area. Just look at what's going on. It's amazing, the range of stuff here. And if you find something interesting, you can just email that person. You can just message that person. You can just grab that person in the corridor. You can even bang on their door and say, can we have a chat about this? So we can do all this to make it as supportive as possible. So again, there are always opportunities for collaboration, and we want to see this happening, because if we do that, great things can happen. But there is one final problem we need to address. Having a nice building is one thing. Having amazing people is another thing. But we need the right culture to make this happen. And that culture, that sense of bringing people together to provide a warm and supportive and caring environment, rests on having a really nice building that's well looked after, and cake and food and drinks. So there she is. Could you now all please embarrass her by looking at the lady who's now in tears? That is Bridget. And I'm sure you all know her, but Bridget is amazing. It's her and everybody else who provides all the front of house support work. So Renee and Charlotte and everybody who's involved in making people who come to this building feel welcome. There's only going to be one round of applause, and it's going to be for Bridget and the whole team who support everything we do. So please, round of applause. I'm now getting that look that says you're getting no lunch today, mate. Very practical issues as well. Mugs. Mugs are not magical items. They don't fly back to the dishwasher. So we like to think, very small matter, it matters. Take your mugs back into the kitchen all through the year, please. It's very, very important. And keep the place tidy. People like coming here. It's a nice environment. It's a welcoming environment. And it's a good place to be. So that's it. All I want to end with is saying, again, to all our new students, thank you for choosing to come and study here. Those of you who are returning, thank you very much. And whether you're here as a visitor for a month, you're a student here for a couple of years, you're a postdoc working with us for a few years, or you're devoting your entire career to us, we're very, very grateful for what you do. And just that message I want to leave you with, collectively, we can do so much more. Collectively, I think we really can do something amazing to help manufacture a better world. Have a great year. Thank you.